Garen, the execute, obviously, it's true damage based off of your missing HP. When K'Sante goes all out, he has to be missing HP. It's very easy to find the execute and shut K'Sante down.
On the lane, though, of course, they do have that ranged advantage. But you're right in saying that there's a lot of expectations on both these top laners' shoulders. It was Whippo that came out the gate swinging in game one. The health bar's getting lower and lower. Oh, keeping your eyes on Inspired here. Look, he's setting up for an invade. He's trying to steal away that Gromp.
Oh, very early.
Get it.
Nicely done from Inspired, but now in the bottom lane, Boostio's about to die! First blood over to G2! Nicely done, as Masu wants to try to get something back, but the only thing he's gonna get is a trip to the graveyard! Double kill Han Sama, 2 minutes and 20 seconds in. Whippo, who has to turn around and run. Yes, you are a Garen, yes, you're up in levels, but you're in a 1v2. Now Quad in some danger, as Caps gets a solo kill. G2 have defeated Warfare 5 minutes into the game.
Like, this is absolutely crazy from the G2 members. Like, we have not seen this type of performance from them for a while. Whippo level 6, the cavalry's coming in.
Yeah, Whippo still ready to try to turn this one around. Lebrov gets silenced, but he's not worried about it. Full health still on Hans and Lebrov both, as Skewmond is chased out of the Dragon Pit by Inspired. So FlyQuest, despite hemorrhaging these early kills, will at least take the first objective. G2 shook hands on it, said, fine, we'll take the first Drake. Now that those are not up at the same time, the Grubs have just now spawned. FlyQuest are starting the objective, but you can see G2 hanging around. There's nothing else to look at in the other side of the river, so G2 are going to look at this instead. Busio gets crashed down on by Lebrov, but Masu misses the center route. Han Sama is here, level 6 on the Corki. The rocket poke can be very, very devastating. Han's going to try to steal one of those Grubs away there with a Phos Bomb, but it doesn't hit with the timing. Now that last Grub, the target here for FlyQuest. Whippo's coming up around the side. FlyQuest looking to go in as Quad finds the engage. Follow up there with a Cyclone, and Hans is already down. Nice damage coming in from the Wukong, but now Caps is between worlds. Lebrov is low. Caps has to go back over the wall, and Broken Blade has found his way into the middle of the fight, but Busio is already out. FlyQuest, get a kill, get the Grubs, and get everybody out alive. There's always one off of cooldown, and Broken Blade is making sure he doesn't give Whippo any more ticks on the spin. G2 starting up the second Drake of the game, now immediately turning for the engage onto Inspired. He drops the clone, he tries to get back away, and Skewmond's gonna be killed instead. Masu rotates into the fight, and Quad and Busio are looking at Lebrov. Han Sama flying away as Busio and Quad go on a magical journey, and Lebrov gets away to safety underneath the tier 1 turret. Han Sama continuing his retreat. G2, they thought they had the trigger pull, but it was a trap trigger, and Inspired ends up baiting him in.
The counterpunch from FlyQuest just seems to hit harder.
A significant amount of a beating. That means that if FlyQuest can secure that, they'll earn the boots there. Whippo starting to use the spin before Broken Blade enters into the scrap there with a Pathmaker, but it's G2 who want to find the kill here onto the Garen. Immediately, Skewmond makes the engage. Whippo is low, flashing away, trying to find some sort of an outplay, but immediately Broken Blade goes all out. Skewmond, though, trying to get himself away as Busio wants to get one back, but the kill credit over to Caps is right where G2 wants the money.
Strong play there from G2 up on the top side to get it and get out. They, as you say, it does cost them one flash. Now Busio in the middle.
Nice play coming out from Lebrov, and immediately Broken Blade looking to slam Busio back into the wall, but Busio with a 2-man stun, ready to set it up as Caps goes between worlds. Busio gets away underneath the turret. The tempered fade is perfect. Inspired, needing one more hit on Lebrov. He'll get the kill. Busio stays alive. Inspired about to die to Han Sama. There's dead bodies on both sides as Quad keeps chasing Hans, but it won't matter. There's no more opportunity here for a kill, and Caps gets to recall at the same time.
And again, a Senna ultimate over the top. That Senna ultimate was just enough, and Caps tries to follow him under the tower here with the double ultimate, and then right after he comes out, Caps goes for the Q and flashes, but on the bottom side, you do have to point out.
Prepared coming into this tournament with the idea of giving you a little bit more value around the poke. I personally still prefer the Trinity Force. I just think it spikes harder in the mid game, and we'll see if it comes to fruition now as the root comes through.
Yeah, Lebrov getting bound up. Chain CC, he can't press a button. FlyQuest immediately find a pick on the main engage tool from G2, and with him out of the picture, the Dragon just spawned. FlyQuest, they'll be at sole point if they get this.
Exactly. G2 lost their primary engage, which means that they're not in a position to contest this. Their best option is now to try and cross-map, attacking that top tier 1. But again, we find FlyQuest in this mid game just finding advantage after advantage. And G2 making these mistakes where they're just out of position, and FlyQuest doing a really good job of finding them and finding advantages off the back of them.
The lead.
Busio hovering here too. Watch out for the Bard ultimate.
Inspired, gonna find Skewmon there as he clones back over the wall, but now Quad could be in danger. Immediately drops the combo onto G2, but instead it's the full engage. Tempered Fate looking to stuff that engage now as Hans summons under pressure, but Inspired has to try to get away. The Senna ulti over the top, as now the turret is destroyed into the bottom lane at the same time. G2, they get the shutdown back on the Quad's Annie. It's 1 kill so far, 1 kill for G2, nothing for FlyQuest.
G2 get their play, they get out. Whippo, of course, after the teleport up to answer, does at least go for that trade, gets his turret.
You can see the first-hand experience of playing against Canyon.
Let's see how that Senna factor does come into play, because looks like he is going for the Black Cleaver build. Does have Wukong as well as the Garen on his team, so going to try and shred for the squad.
You have no idea that this is going on right now. They have a suspicion.
Broken Blade's smelling something funny up here in the topside river, as G2 are gonna show up, and they show up with enough men in enough time that FlyQuest does not feel confident finishing the objective. At the same time, G2 did grab that turret down there in the bottom lane, ties it up at 2-2 in that count. Busio with a nice 2-man binding there. Make sure he can get himself away as Lebrov and Skewmon prowling around the enemy jungle, seeing if there's anything they can steal away. For the mid laner, an AD carry in Caps and Hans on G2. Who can carry the next fight harder is the question that'll answer whether or not FlyQuest can take this soul. G2 moving up with a full 5-man roster to try to stop it, as Whippo immediately tries to engage on the Caps and Hans, but Whippo is going to be isolated. Immediately the Senna ulti trying to reinforce FlyQuest top laner, but he's going to be taken out before anything else happens. FlyQuest in some trouble. Broken Blade here with the front line, goes all out and he manages to stay alive. He's going to kill Quad. Broken Blade popping off. G2 slamming the fight. The target selection was better, and G2 hold on.
Whippo immediately turns his attention onto the backline. He says, if I can stop you from following up, then that means that the Cassante's just going to die. But that is not what happened. Broken Blade was able to survive for a huge amount of time.
Massive jump in power here for G2 as well. FlyQuest is on the approach, but the Otacon is already low. Lebrov goes in for the engage on Busio, but he gets away on a magical journey. Broken Blade here to front line now, as Whippo's already spinning on top of him. The Garen damage is big, but Broken Blade still getting himself away. The Otacon is claimed by G2. Broken Blade still the target, likely to be the sacrificial lamb. Continues running, trying to waste as much time as possible here on the FlyQuest side. Broken Blade still clearing the distance. Inspired can catch up, finds the last hit there for the shutdown. Whippo and Quad are way too far forward. Quad's already going to be killed as Busio finds a big Tempered Fate, but Whippo's going to die now too. Skewmon heals with the triumph, but he does not die. FlyQuest solo laners go in alone. Masu and Inspired now ready to try to follow up, but Hans Sama's already able to make the distance. Lebrov with a crash down over the wall, but Inspired ready to follow. It's 2 dead on either side.
Soul stacking and getting the Otacon. Whippo is at it again though.
Yeah, Whippo wants to go in after Hans. Tempered Fate finds the Corki, but nobody else. FlyQuest going in. Inspired ready here with a Cyclone. Hans Sama's already down. Masu trying to get away from Lebrov. Looks for a little bit more damage. If they can kill the Rel too, that's going to be huge. Whippo goes in for the Stride Breaker. A little bit more damage is there, and Masu's already got the kill. Now Broken Blade about to die here too. It's 3-0 for FlyQuest.
They make the quicker play. They just started out with Whippo chasing down the Corki. They take him out, chase through a tower of their own, and now Vedius, they're moving towards the Baron.
Excellent target selection from FlyQuest means that they flip the game on its head. The Dragon is in a minute's time, and with the Baron secured, FlyQuest is going to take full control over Game 2.
North America versus Europe, back and forth here, Vedius. Big objectives traded. G2 will still have this power of the Otacon, getting extra flower for every kill they get and the on-death effect, but now FlyQuest with that last play for FlyQuest, even if he went for a miracle steal.
Absolutely beautiful Tempered Fate from Busio's Bard to save Masu from what would have been a phenomenal engage on the side of G2. The MasterCard priceless moment of the game. The Dragon Soul for FlyQuest now. But could there be a counterpunch? Quad's in danger. The engage from G2 this time onto the FlyQuest mid. He's going to die immediately. Whippo and Inspired looking to turn things around. Maybe onto Skewmon. A little bit more damage is needed. And Whippo's already got the kill there with Demacia and Justice. Now Broken Blade still here on the front. LeBron takes another hit over the head from Wukong. Masu has joined the fight. Broken Blade's got to make some distance, but another Tempered Fate locks up G2. Hansama hit with a binding, but they can't follow it up with enough damage. Masu's got a lot of range on Senna now, and Broken Blade is low. Masu getting himself away as Inspired drops the clone to drop the aggro. Now Whippo still spinning around, but it's only minions under fire. FlyQuest dancing with the line here between greatness and disaster. G2 low on health, backing up. FlyQuest still with the Baron. Caps with the Aurora Burst. Catches Masu unaware, and that will silence this push.
I was here.
Yep.
And since they got the feats, they also have the upgraded boots.
But we're already into a fight. Inspired finds the engage into Caps and Lebrov. Caps gets himself away. Inspired takes a massive chunk, but Lebrov is the one whose body hits the floor. FlyQuest with another 5v4 situation now, going for the push in mid lane. This tier 2 turret should fall. That'll be FlyQuest claiming their 4th turret of the game. The gold, gentlemen, is still not even 2,000 as Hans defends the tier 2, and Broken Blade takes one in the bottom lane at the same time.
FlyQuest continues to punish them. Inspired is active on the map, and Quad?
Yeah, Quad's in danger. Stun onto both of them, though, as Quad tries to get away, but Broken Blade is going all out. He's in some danger himself. Busio trying to lock him up. Broken Blade is all out, but FlyQuest bring more men. Inspired, dominating on the Wukong. An impressive performance in back-to-back games, 9, 2, and 4. Now, Whippo is Garen, level 16. The passive is at maximum value. Inspired goes in for the knock-up onto Caps. Forces him to use the ulti defensively to jump away. The Elder Dragon is in 30 seconds. If either side gets a big win here, they can go for that, and you know. 13-13. Yeah, it's a 2,500 gold lead for FlyQuest, but that's not a lot. The Cloud Soul, obviously, being a much bigger difference maker. Silence onto Broken Blade from Whippo, but now G2 ready to step in. Caps goes between worlds, and Masu's already almost dead. Down to 200 HP. Quad's already eliminated, but now Caps is also dead. Masu continuing to fire. Surviving by 100 was enough, and LeBron is about to die next. FlyQuest turn around. G2, they try to pick Masu. They fall ever so short, but it is just enough for FlyQuest.
The front line for FlyQuest does so much there. The double spinning to winning is able to cut through them, and Masu actually survived the entire thing, kiting back, and with the sustain, and with the peel, FlyQuest triumph!
FlyQuest keeping their 80 carry alive by just 100 HP. He then heals himself up with his own Qs. It makes a massive difference. And FlyQuest now, with G2 dead for long enough, they can take the Baron, they can walk over the Elder. FlyQuest with a big win in the team fight.
Inspired and Whippo. You said it earlier, Flowers. It was a tale of two halves, with the top side of FlyQuest being the point of strength.
Caps, that's the first time he died in this entire game, but so many times in League of Legends, when you're the guy who's got the weight of the whole game on your back. Masu, so much power on this Senna, 137 souls. FlyQuest on the push towards inhibitor turrets in 2 separate lanes.
Baron buff on the minions with the Elder Dragon on themselves, so threatening.
And they immediately decide to go in for the engage. G2 under pressure, Dawning Shadow, gonna guarantee the first kill. Skewmon's already down, and Inspired is legendary. Broken Blade goes all out as Whippo's gonna be in some danger. The shutdown credit goes over to Lebrov. Inspired is far forward. He's likely to burn down here, but he's already got the Guardian Angel. Broken Blade continuing to kite out, but it's not enough. FlyQuest lose their top laner, but they'll take Broken Blade and Skewmon in trade. Fly, they still have the Baron. They still have the Elder. They still have themselves set up in the enemy base. Inspired, low on HP, stealing away some camps to try to heal back up, while the rest of FlyQuest continues pushing Nexus turrets. Masu has so much range, G2 can't get anywhere near it. The Nexus already under fire. Quad with the engage, the Elder with the execute, and FlyQuest on the game-winning push for match point.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.